Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I hope you're all having a productive week so far. This morning's webinar will be an introduction to using labour market data to add value to marketing and recruitment. So, over the next 30 minutes or so then, we aim to cover the following today. I'll give you a quick introduction to EMSI for those of you who are new to us today, and a little bit of a reminder for those who aren't. We'll give an overview of the challenges faced in engaging with students, and then we'll look at what data can help and how we can integrate this into our processes to support those marketing and recruitment activities. We should have time for some questions, and we'll do a little bit of a summary as well. So, a quick introduction to EMSI then, and an overview of what we do as a reminder. So we know that attracting and retaining students to your college is more crucial than ever due to increasing competition with sixth form colleges and independent training providers, a huge market now, and also the ongoing funding cuts that the sector seems to get year after year. So demonstrating to young people in your area why they should enrol in a course at your college rather than the one down the street is vital to your success. So it's our mission at EMSI to help people make better decisions relating to the world of work, put really simply. So we do this through providing detailed, robust labour market data to education providers across the country, helping them to better understand where they should be focusing their efforts. And this data is used within curriculum planning, or also student engagement and employer engagement, as well as things like evidencing impact. So when we think about engaging with potential or existing learners, we might not naturally think about labour market data straight away. So how can this help us promote the college and attract the students? We know that young people often go to college not so much for the course itself, but they think, or they're told, that it will give them greater opportunities to gain good and meaningful employment at the end of it. However, colleges do tend to market themselves on the basis of the courses and their offer rather than where that course might take the learner at the end of study. But if young people go to college because they think that by doing a particular course they will have more options and better opportunities, why don't we then focus marketing on making that link between the courses and the careers more explicit? So how can providers do this then? That's very simply, but put simply, education providers need to promote their college to young people in their area as the pathway to a viable career and have them think of that as the first port of call. They need to connect potential students to the training that they offer by showing that link with possible careers, and then guide them to a sustainable job throughout their time at college and beyond. And then students then, in theory, should be more motivated, as they can see the direct link between their education and their dream job, meaning that the college also benefits from higher retention rates. So thinking about labour market data, what can we use to support this idea of linking careers to courses? So what all that would mean then is that education providers would need, first of all, a detailed understanding of how their offer relates to careers. And then they would need that ability to map all of the courses they offer to the careers that they train for once they've established that link. And then they need to clearly articulate to this learner. So that sounds like a huge job. And I suppose this is where EMSI come in. So we've developed a methodology that allows us to map all courses across the education sector to the list of occupations that they typically train for, meaning that a college can quickly and simply make that connection between the courses that they offer, so this bully box, and then the potential careers that they train for locally. So once we've done that link and kind of asked the question, what occupations will this route lead to? We can then start to attach things like wage data and employment data to these single careers to help answer some key kind of questions. So in terms of employment data, what this really helps us do is ask things such as, is there a job for me locally as a student once I've finished a qualification at this college? And is that occupation expected to rise and fall when I leave the college? So what we've got is kind of trend-based graphs that show occupation growth within a region, whether that be the region that the college serves or even nationally. Current employment numbers, so the number of jobs in that occupation for the current year, which would include every single job, so part-time and full-time. And then we can really narrow that down. So what's the expected jobs in 2021 and 2023 within a region? Who is currently employed and how many opportunities in terms of real job vacancies are available within a region? In terms of wage data, we can start to attach that immediately hourly earning to occupations. So this helps learners to understand what job might pay locally versus nationally and give you a really good idea of the starting wage. And it can also manage expectations and show progression through things like entry, mid-level and top-level wages, comparing learners both entering the workforce to those who are highly experienced in their field. And again, we've got all types of kind of data that show 10th and 90th percentile, break that out into single occupations, or you can also aggregate that data to show a sector view as well. So far we've looked at the importance of attracting and retaining students and explored the challenges around this. We've also looked at how we can link careers to courses and then attach that wage and employment data for the occupations that you offer trainings for. So I wanted to spend the majority of the webinar really looking at practical applications of how this can be done through some of our really good customer examples. So how can we use that labour market data that we've just seen to start really kind of using that for marketing and retention and effectively promoting your course offer? So your website is typically the first place that many potential learners will go to explore their next steps if they've got you guys in mind, or if they're signposted to you from school, careers guidance, or even their friends or parents. So it's a really good place then to start in terms of displaying labour market data to drive recruitment and effectively promote what you're offering, so your courses basically. So two of the easiest ways to do this is by, first of all, having a dual search bar. So really promoting this courses not careers element where learners can search for careers or courses from the offset. And also then by embedding attractive infographics of wage and employment data that we've seen on each course page to clearly display the link between the courses you offer and that learner's dream job or end goal. We've also got promotion of social media on there, so we've got some really good examples of colleges and providers using Twitter and LinkedIn to give key facts on regional job growth and wages. So if we look at that in a little bit more detail, we've got two really good examples of that homepage and course integration. So Boston College here use what we call API, so live data feed, so live feed from LMI, MD LMI, any LMI that you've got access to show, first of all, a course. So this learner's gone to this page with a course in mind, a carpentry and joinery diploma level 1, and as well as having all of the essential information to that career, to that course, sorry, we've also got the potential careers here. So a carpenter or joiner. We've got the number of local job opportunities at the minute in the area, so Boston area. And then we've also got that entry level, average and potential wage that we were seeing on the course on the slides before. So really good way of applying that data onto a course page, enhancing website content and being able to connect that career to the course that it trains for. That course to the career that it trains for. Preston have used that dual search bar. So homepage, as soon as that learner comes onto the site, do you know what course you want to do? And if you don't, let's find a career. So what career have you got in mind? And we'll work backwards from that point. So two really, really good examples of how labour market data is being used on homepage and course integration. So social media within marketing is extremely powerful as well. So here are two really good examples of West Yorkshire Colleges Consortium and North Lindsey College, who are basically directing prospective learners to their college website by promoting the data through Twitter and LinkedIn. So we've also got colleges doing the same on printed collaterals, so such as posters as well. But here we've got a tweet from North Lindsey, basically giving an overview of a vehicle paint technician. No mention of the course at this point, that's where the link takes them to, but we're basically starting with the average salary in the region. So good way of attracting a learner, especially for those harder to fill courses. And then we've got the course information underneath. So this is what course you could do. This is how many people are employed in the region. So again, all specific to that local region. And then here we've got an example from West Yorkshire Colleges Consortium. They've basically been able to use data to show that there's a significant rise in employment opportunities in the region, and then link this back to the courses available for their target market to be able to say, this is what growth opportunities there are in the region, and we've got over 1,000 courses available to support career development. So two different slants to it, but two really good, strong ways of using social media. So on to the second part, as well as using your website, marketing activities such as open days and schools engagement activities are also really, really valuable in effectively promoting your offer, and including labour market data really strengthens these activities. So using careers or labour market data tools within open days, so we've got our career coach tool, but there might be others that you use. These can really give learners and parents, because parents are vital to those decisions, a window into how what you're offering in terms of courses or qualifications connect directly back into local careers opportunities. And we're going to look at these in a little bit more detail each. Wage data, for example, we talked about this, but really, really good way to promote hard to fill courses. And also course guides and prospectuses. So exactly how we saw the data being used in the Boston example, we can pull that data from not necessarily a live site, but we can create infographics and pop these on course guides or prospectuses. So first example is Colegau Cymru. So this is one college that's using our career coach tool within their open days and student engagement activities. So the career coach tool, as some of you might know, is a kind of standalone careers advice and guidance and marketing and recruitment tool that some colleges use to be able to have an off-the-shelf standalone product that would allow your careers to connect to courses, and basically a learner could type in the career or the course that they're interested in, and it would bring up all the related information. Lots of ways to do this, which we've explored, but it basically puts it all in one place. Colegau Cymru have used their career coach site and basically reskinned this for YPAN, which is one of their feeder schools or local schools. They've taken the course information off this, and what they're doing is going out to the local schools and using it to give potential students impartial advice of the local careers options available to them on leaving school. So taking the course information off it is giving just a labour market data version, and what they can do is start to explore the careers that they're potentially interested in, and they can look at relevant wage and employment data, and then they can always attach that back to the course information or the training that they need. Also, careers assessment, so a really good way of engaging the learners, and it's a CV tool as well. So going on to that course guides and prospectuses then, and using labour market data within this. Here's a really good example of using data within course guide from East Durham College. So East Durham College have incorporated that skill shortage data here, the annual job openings for agriculture and related jobs, and they've got the Northeast versus the national view on annual openings. And they've also incorporated that forecasted job change in the number of jobs. So they're seeing an increase of 3% from 2017, so slightly out of date this one, to 2026. But really, really good kind of labour market intelligence to start looking at things like job growth, wage data, whether it's growing or declining. And then we've got all of the apprenticeships and study programme and qualification pathways up here. Another really good example of this is the Manchester College. So they've not only shown the aggregated number of job figures and average salaries for all childcare related occupations, as we'd seen on the East Durham College site. What Manchester College have also started to do, as well as giving a bit of an overview of the sector, they've broken that down into 4 different occupations. So what you'd see is a really nice kind of progression route of entry-level jobs up to the higher end jobs, showing a real kind of broader sense of where this course or qualification can go. From that, we've got the average salary for each of those jobs, the number of jobs from 2016 to 2020 as well. So really, really good way of also using labour market data and specific occupation data to show learners where they can go. So this is actually not static like this version. So this is a downloadable prospectus, but Manchester College have all of this on their website. So they're just creating infographics or pulling some of those figures off Analyst, the labour market data tool that we provide, and being able to dot those around on their website. So short one today, but hopefully that's been helpful in just giving you an idea of how labour market data can be started to be used for marketing and recruitment. Basically, to sum up, with increasing competition and ongoing funding cuts to the FE sector, attracting and retaining students to your organisation is vital for you to succeed and kind of stay afloat. Learners go to college not so much for the course, but we've talked about how they go because they think it will give them great opportunities for meaningful employment after study. So really then, education providers should be focusing their marketing efforts on making that link between the courses that they offer and the careers that they train for clear, rather than concentrating on the course itself. So we started to look at some of that labour market data, and we've understood how that can help make the link by mapping your course offer to the careers that they train for. And then by attaching some of that wage and employment data to those occupations, we really then start to bring that to life, and you can start to see how they've got a reason for going to college and doing this course, because they know that it will help them get to where they want to be in terms of employment or careers. So all this in turn increases recruitment and retention, as learners have a clear end goal and they leave college with the skills, knowledges and behaviours that they need to gain meaningful employment. This gives employers the skills and qualifications that they're asking for, and we know this because we're seeing job postings data and skills data throughout that labour market data, and we can pull that off and feed that into course prospectuses and websites and course pages. And then end goal of all this, it basically increases regional economic growth because we have a more productive skills workforce. So I'm happy to chat with anybody else in more detail about how we can help. My email address and my phone number is on the screen there. Really happy to kind of hear about the issues you're grappling with, how we might be able to help, arrange a meeting to go through some of that in more detail. Just wanted to take a second to give you a little bit of information about our upcoming event. So we're running 2 further education LMI Insight events. First one will be Wednesday the 22nd of January in Birmingham, and the second one will be Tuesday the 4th of February in Manchester. So these are collaborative events with ourselves, MZ and FE Associates, and it really will be focusing around that new inspection framework and how we can align that curriculum strategy to the knowledge and skills of the economy. So tapping into that curriculum intent, the 3 I's, and looking at how labour market data can help really solidify and provide that strong evidence base and rationale for the intent of your curriculum. So we've got our senior economist Duncan speaking at this event. We've got Havant and Southdown College's Vice Principal Dan Beale, Dave Sykes, who is the MD of FE Associates, and various other guest speakers, as well as some practical applications of the tool. So thank you for your time today. 20 minutes, so short one today, but hopefully that's given you a bit of insight into how we can start to use labour market data to add value to that marketing and recruitment process. Thank you very much and have a lovely day.